Hi, I'm Dan Cortopassi. Today I'm reviewing an HO scale GP40P-2 locomotive from Athearn Genesis. Athearn offers this model in two versions. The DCC ready version is $189.98. The version with DCC and Soundtrack's Tsunami 2 sound is $279.98. Mine is the DC version. I got it for $161.48 from a popular online retailer. We'll start the model at 100 possible points. The engine comes in a thick cardboard outer box. Inside is some documentation. A two-piece plastic cradle surrounded by foam protects the model. The handrails come from the factory with foam protectors. This is a good box that should protect the model for storage and transport. SP's GP40P-2 locomotives were built for commute service on the San Francisco Peninsula. When Caltrain took over this route in the 1980s, SP passenger engines were put into the general freight pool. SP's three GP40P-2s were renumbered 7600, 7601, and 7602. Athearn offers this model in this paint scheme in all three numbers. However, 7600 was repainted into SP's speed lettering scheme sometime prior to 1994. The model represents 7601 as it appeared after its steam generator equipment and oscillating lights had been removed. As built, the GP40P-2 locomotives had steam generator equipment. This was later removed. Another difference is that the modernized engines had a single-piece large fuel tank for freight service. They originally had a smaller split tank which contained both diesel fuel and water for the steam generator. I compared the model to photos of the real 7601 and it looks like it is overall very accurate. The model lacks ditch lights. The real 7601 had them by 1997. The SP-style split battery box doors are not quite correct. There should be a horizontal ridge above the hinges. This would be hard to correct without repainting the battery box doors. I don't think a model at this price should have issues like that, so I'm taking 5 points. There are a few minor inaccuracies in the plumbing under the sill, but nothing too bad. The model is part of Athearn's Prime for Grime series, meaning that the model's paint is made to look faded. Compared to this Athearn tunnel motor, the SP Gray and Scarlet are both considerably lighter on the GP40P-2. Depending on the photo you're looking at, the effect appears accurate, though in some photos the red is not as faded as it is on the model. I'm not really sure I like the color, like maybe the gray is a little too light. It reminds me of the old days in hobby magazines when everyone was painting their steam engines gray instead of black. Hopefully with some additional weathering it'll look better. The paint on the model is thin and evenly applied. The markings are crisp and the small writing is legible with magnification. The model has plastic handrails. Most of the stanchions are straight or close to straight, which is good. The trucks have brake lines. In front, the engine has separate windshield wipers, freestanding grab irons, uncoupling levers, MU hoses, and an accurate plow. There is a very visible mold seam around the edge of the short hood. There's no way to fix this without repainting parts of the model, so I'm taking 5 points. The cab windows are positionable, but they're a little bit sticky, so once you shove them in the open position, it's really hard to get them back. The cab has a fully detailed interior. There's even glazing in the water sight glass on the engineer's side. In back, the model has more freestanding grab irons. I was not able to find a rear shot of 7601, however compared to 7602 the model appears mostly correct. I like the way Athearn made the red paint around the number brighter, as if the engine had been re-stenciled, but I have no way to know if this is accurate. On top, the model has excellent detail, including the conduits on the cab roof. The photo etch fans look pretty good, though the blade assemblies seem too far down into the body compared to prototype photos. Underneath, the model has sander lines and enough plumbing to look good when the model is on the track. The trucks have axle bearings in the side frames that also pick up current from each of the wheels. All of the axles are powered. The engine has McHenry knuckle couplers on both ends. The coupler in front is at the correct height. The coupler in back is close enough that I'm calling it good. Way to go, Athearn. All the wheels are engaged according to the NMRA standards gauge. There is no significant body wobble. The locomotive weighs 14 ounces even. I measured a peak 2.6 ounces of drawbar pull on my force gauge, about average for an HO scale diesel. I'm testing the model on DC. The engine runs smoothly and is fairly quiet. The lights appear to be LEDs and have a constant brightness circuit. The beacon lights up, but there is no flasher. The number boards are not lit. So let's take a look at what we've got. The battery box doors are not correct for this engine, so I took 5 points in the prototype accuracy category. There is a very pronounced mold seam around the top edge of the short hood, so I took 5 points in the paint and detail category. That leaves us with a total of 90 out of 100 possible points, which would be an A- on a report card. This is a nice model overall, and it deserves a green signal. Even though it has a few flaws, this is still a pretty nice model. If you're a fan of the 1990s era Southern Pacific like I am, I think you'll like it.